Hey guys, this is Gatsby with Tape, and today you join me in the KSC, and I'm going to go into the tracking station and take a look at our ordinary planets we're all, perfectly used to seeing. I don't know why I'm saying this, surely you've read the title of the video, and you know that we've got some outer planets, because beyond Dres there is Jool, and beyond Jool there is now Sarnus. Sarnus, I believe, is Saturn, as it were, because Jool, as we'll kind of just figure out, I guess, is kind of like Jupiter, the big gas giant without serious rings. Jool doesn't really have any rings. Incidentally, though, I mean, Jupiter has, like, little rings, although apparently all planets have all little rings, just because that's how it kind of happens, because things are going to be pulled into the gravity and generally pulled towards the center because of magnetic fields and stuff like that. But anyway, let's take a look at some of these planets and play around with them, I guess. This is Sarnus, which I think does look a lot like Saturn. It's kind of, well, Saturn's more yellowy than pinky, I guess, more sand-coloured. I think it's a nice beach on Saturn. Totally not a gas giant, it's a sand giant. No, but it also has these beautiful rings, which I think are literally, like, paper thin, so it would be rubbish to fly through them, but beautiful to see. And in its rings, it has these little these little asteroids, like bigger ones, I guess. I guess they're not really asteroids, but little objects which you could actually go and land on, so you could be in its rings. It won't let me focus on Hail. Damn it. Oh, I can't. Why can't I focus on this one? Okay, for some reason I can't focus on this. That is a huge shame. But yeah, I do know. Oh, we can just about see it. It's just a little piece of insignificant. Oh, there we go. Nice shot. Yeah, a little piece of rock. Just a little piece of. It's called Hail. Isn't there something like Halley's Comet, or Halley's Comet, or Hale's Comet? Something like that. But it's probably not that, given that it's not a comet, it's just part of a ring. But yeah, this does look like an insignificant bit of dust in our ring. It'd be nice to go there. And then we have Ovok just outside the ring, which is a little bigger, a little flatter, kind of like a pebble, with a nice little patch. It's probably very low gravity, but yeah, this is the mod that adds the outer planets. Because if you look at our solar system, you have the inner planets, and then you have Jupiter, not close to the inner planets, but way closer than everything else, and then everything else becomes gradually further away. So it's nice if you've been to every planet and you want a real challenge. It's not so much a challenge, it's just getting that amount of delta V. It just means more launch vehicles. So yeah, I'm just going to look through all the little things, because I love looking through these little planets. They've also moved Eeloo, incidentally, into the orbit of Sarnus, which is actually a plan for the some of the things they were going to add to the game at one point. They were going to add more gas giants and move Eeloo to be one of the moons. So we already know what Eeloo looks like. Hell, I put a base there in a series ages ago. Don't watch it, it was terrible. Because I was a very long time ago. And then we've got, what's this called? I didn't check. Slate. I think I've seen this in Craig's Planet Factory or something. But this is one of the ones I really want to go to. It just looks so barren and desert-like. It's just so, I don't know, there's like this ridge. It just looks just like a really interesting part of space. And what have we got here? We've got Teto. What is Teto? I haven't looked at that so much. This does actually have an atmosphere, I know this, I believe at least. Atmosphere president, yes, this actually has quite a looks like a thin atmosphere, but I believe it has actually a pretty thick atmosphere since it has lakes and things. And you can add a certain amount of mods to get lots of clouds in the upper atmosphere, and it does look quite beautiful. But this does look very much like an alien planet with these kind of green liquids and bluey, greeny, turquoisey surface. I don't really know what that would be. I mean, copper oxide goes much darker than that, so I don't really know what this is made up of, but who really knows? Who cares? It would just be nice to go and swim in those toxic lakes. I believe that's all the objects around Sarnus, but it is a very nice planet I'd love to visit. Maybe I'll do some outer planet stuff. Next we've got Uranus, which is probably Uranus, although it doesn't go Neptune then Uranus. Have I forgotten my composition of the universe? The solar system. Uranus, I swear it's Neptune then Uranus. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Have I been? Well, anyway, I assume it's called, it's the kind of like Uranus, because it starts with U, and that starts with an S, and that starts with a J, and it's all just conjecture. But as we zoom in on this, it is a bit of a blue planet with some very small ring, kind of, again, like I thought Neptune was. Maybe I'm wrong about everything. It tends to be in these sort of videos, but yeah. This has far more tenuous rings, and it looks very cold out here, very far from the sun. I doubt solar panels would be much help out here. But yeah, very nice and blue and smooth and just very calm and subdued. I quite like the look of it. I'm not giving much of a great look at it. I just like the not much of a good explanation, just talking about the aesthetics. And then you've got various moons like Polter, which I guess not really in its rings, but yeah, you've got, that's actually quite a big moon. Didn't expect that. And then Preux, which looks a little bit like a smaller, more beaten up Polter. All of them are pretty much the same orbit. Luckily, it's not an n-body system. And then my favourite thing in this whole mod is Tal. No, Wal. Because Wal is a moon of a planet which has its own moon. So yeah, we've got this nice looking weird planet with a big ridge in the middle. And then we've got its own moon. Look at this. Okay, I can't focus on it. Okay, oh yeah, there we go. It's a moon with a moon. And this looks very smooth and nice. This is one of the nice things. It adds some just extra little bits. Because this is probably kind of like... oh no, it's nowhere near planet-sized. It is quite small, but it is just interesting to see a moon around a moon, because that happens a lot. I mean, there are actually comets... no, actually more like asteroids, I believe, that have passed Earth, which have their own small little moons. Which is really interesting, because I guess if they're in a stable enough place without too many external forces, then they can quite easily hold a moon. But if there were multiple other things pulling it away, it wouldn't be stable enough. But this is quite an interesting system because it's very far from anything else, so it could probably quite easily hold a moon. Maybe that's what the developers were thinking, but I just like the idea of just things orbiting things, because it's a planet orbiting the sun with a moon that's orbiting it, with a moon that's orbiting the thing that's orbiting the planet that's orbiting the sun. Crazy days. Anyway, next we've got Needen, which I assume is Neptune because it begins with an N. And it's very, well, purple looking. And it is actually purple. It's by itself. It's totally lonely. Probably very boring because there's no way you can land. You can just burn yourself up. But yeah, it is just kind of... it does look very nice, but it's very lonely. The Lonely Planet, I guess. Well, that's a series of books, isn't it? The Lonely Planet. But yeah, I do love how this looks. With its like, it looks like maybe storms up here. Definitely a storm there or something. Maybe it's got an eye like Jupiter. Oh yeah, bit of a storm there. It does look very nice, but probably rather boring since you can't land on it. And then our outer planet, which I guess is much like Pluto, which we don't really know what it looks like right now. Although I know for a fact it doesn't look anything like Plock, which is very much like Pluto because it comes just within the orbit of Needen, much as Plock comes within the orbit of... I think it does come within the orbit of Neptune. Have I got my... Feel free to tell me in the comments. I feel like Uranus is further away from the Sun than Neptune, but I may be completely wrong. I'm starting to doubt myself. I think Neptune might be further away than Uranus because I feel like Pluto comes within the orbit of Neptune. I know, I'm totally flustered, but yeah. So this is our Pluto, I guess, but it looks much more like Val, I guess. It's a bigger Val, I think. Is there a... oh yeah, it's clearly not Val because it has this like spike here instead of a surface anomaly. As Val has, it has a henge. But yeah, those are all the planets. I thought this is just a really nice mod if you just want a few more things to explore and a bit of a challenge. I mean, trying to get men out here will be hard enough, but I mean, maybe probes. So I'm just going to launch a quick rocket and see what kind of, just a really small, and see how far I can take a little probe. And just see, I'm not going to try and get over another planet because I haven't really planned anything. I'm just going to see how far I can get something. So we're going to build ourselves a lightweight probe. Yeah, just a little probe core. We'll give it some torque. We'll give it some torque so it can talk to everybody. Oh no, that's not what that means. It'll probably need a battery. If we're going out far into the solar system, I'll probably give it an RTG, since something like... oh, no. We'll call it even newer horizons. Because, of course, on the 14th of July, New Horizons will be reaching Pluto. Not why I'm doing this video, it's just an interesting comparison, I guess. But interesting factor, a little fact about New Horizons, is it actually launched on my 9th birthday, the 19th of January 2006. But yeah, although New Horizons only has one RTG, I'm kicking its ass. But basically, New Horizons has an RTG because it's going so far from the sun, there is just not enough sunlight to, well, give it energy. I don't think that's actually given a thing in Kerbal Space Program, but yeah, it's just so far that it's basically would be superfluous to bring solar panels. Anyway, what else do I need? Let's send a science experiment, I guess, something realistic, I think. What else does it need? What do I need? Oh, nothing concerning about this vessel. Surprising. Usually when I build vessels, they're very concerning. Oh no, I clicked on Adobe Acrobat Reader. What if it reads about my acrobat career? I'm secretly an acrobat. True story. Not a true story. I often lie to say random things. I often lie to fill the silence. So yeah, we've got even newer horizons here. And we should probably strap this on a rocket. I feel like I'm missing something. Antenna, of course. It needs a big old antenna. And maybe we could surface scan some things. I don't know if they've actually integrated like resources into them, but maybe. Who knows? We could find out, but probably not today. This is far beyond the scope of this video. So it will need to be within a fairing, since that is part of the new game. Well, not the new game, although it does feel a bit like a new game these days. I'm going to put it in a bigger fairing. I'm going to give it a transfer stage, like a dedicated transfer stage, because I know my rocket's not going to be super powered. So we'll throw this. There we go. Good way to get fuel density. Just pack these around. Connect that to this. Oh no, I'm recording this on July 5th. 5 minutes after Freedom Day. Although I guess in the US it's July 4th right now. Woo! July 4th! I know I'm British, so I should be a bit butthurt about that, because it's like, oh, you stole the country we wanted, but it's okay, because Britain is lame and America is way cooler. And now everybody hates me, except the Americans, so that's good. Okay, so let's throw ourselves in a fairing real quick, and just pull it up around our probe. Come on, there we go, there we go. Nice, nice fairing. And then I guess we can move this upward, and then strap a rocket to the bottom and fly it further than any other probe has ever gone, although I have let my probes exit the system before, because I'm a badass. I'm going to put it on a 3-stage rocket. No, I think I'm going to put it on a weirdly proportioned 2-stage rocket. Like Saturn V was a 3-stage, but I think I'm going to have it kind of 3.5 meter below 2.5 meter, just to kind of look cool. And the bottom stage will be more like the Space Launch System. Since I can't really be bothered to make a proper looking Space Launch System with a big upper stage. But I am looking forward to the launch of the Space Launch System in 2017, I believe, although it might not be a really necessary rocket these days. I think, well, obviously I'm inclined to think SpaceX is going to be a key player in heavy lift, since they've got the Falcon Heavy coming soon. I wonder if the Falcon Heavy will be delayed because of the launch disaster. Maybe. Probably, hopefully not. It's supposed to launch this year. Aw, it's probably not gonna, is it? Ugh, it's gonna ruin my year. You think I'm joking? That was like the highlight of my year. That's a shame. I didn't even think about the Falcon Heavy. Great, now I'm sad. Thanks, guys. And let's put on some of these nice slanted nose cones. This looks stupid, but who cares? It's fine. It's the Space Launch System. Totally. This is exactly what the Space Launch System looks like. If you ever looked at it real close, it looks exactly like this. That's a lie. It doesn't look anything like this. And then some Separatrons. Put on some of these flea motors to like really separate it. Separate the fuck out of it. And nice. That works well. See? See, por supuesto? There we go. We should probably strut this, because that is the rule of KSP. If it's moving and it shouldn't be, you strut it. If it's not moving and it should be, you put boosters on it. Very simple rule. That should really be the staple of every KSP tutorial. Grab that. It's these stupid struts. Oh, it looked like it had attached, but it hadn't. Often it auto-attaches for some reason. I don't know. KSP confuses me. Some of the weird things that happen in the VAB, just... I think you can confuse the game quite easily, which is not always a great thing. But anyway, let's throw some launch struts on here and launch this into space and see how far we can get it. Just to kind of give you an idea of the amount of fuel you'll need to get a small probe out to these sort of distances. Bearing in mind, this probably won't take into account the kind of idea you'd need, the kind of amount of fuel you'd need to do maneuvers around the planet. But let's just see how this does. It probably has an insane amount of delta V. I'm hoping, at least. I've got my little 3D printed Jeb here, all smiling and ready for our long mission. Do love the 3D printed Jeb. Did a vlog about it. You should go watch that after this. Yay! Weirdly proportioned rocket. Okay. I guess just launch. I don't really have a target. It's always weird. I always seem to launch to a target these days. Oh, that's a... Oh, I fired the wrong motors. I fired the Separatrons instead of the boosters. I'm such a putz. Don't know why I've started saying putz so much. Isn't that Yiddish? Since when do you speak Yiddish? Weirdly, I swear it doesn't highlight these like it used to. What the fuck? Why doesn't it highlight... That's confusing. Because in 1.0, I think since the beta, it's given a different highlighting to when you like highlight parts in the staging, and it'll highlight it in bright green. Has that gone away? Why? That was amazing. That was like my favourite feature of 0.90. What the fucking shit, squad? Get your shit together. I'm sorry, I don't mean it. Although I do. Get your shit together. Yeah, let's launch. Woo! Going to space. Should probably throttle down. Don't want to go too fast. Go gentle into that good night. No, wait, don't go gentle into that good night. Throttle up! Oh, that's a great poem. Because it was said in Interstellar. I don't know that much about poetry. Except the stuff we learned at school, which is all really lame. It's like, oh, this woman's talking about a man with an orange jacket. That clearly means she's been dumped by a council worker. It's like, okay, does it though? I don't know, I don't think poets and writers actually do all that stuff we pick apart in class. It's like, not that I have done English in like 2 years since I've done with school now, but still, it was like, it's like, oh, well, they clearly did this to foreshadow this. It's like, they probably didn't, though. I mean, come on. Who really does that? I mean, who... Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Don't lose control. Don't lose control. Don't lose control! Come on. Quickly. There we go. Gain back control. Bail on him. Wow, that was good control gaining. Good job, me. Good job. You earned a gold star today. Okay, I know I'm tilting over way too little, but that's just well, that's just because I'm talking, so I'm not really thinking about my launches. Although all my launches are way too steep these days, just because I'm used to either the stock atmosphere or Ferrum Aerospace, and this is neither. I'm still getting reaccustomed to this. I'm hoping the whole SLS stage will get me mostly into orbit, because that's usually how I build them, so that I don't need the like a top stage, because I'm not entirely sure of the launch structure of the space launch system, because kind of my initial idea was that it just used its boosters as its main thrust, and then after they'd burned out, whatever fuel was left in the main stage would just propel it all the way to orbit. But I've seen pictures and it looks as if it does have an actual small upper stage to give it like the final kick, but I may be wrong. I'm not sure. I guess I'll find out when it launches. The animations are maddeningly unclear because they go straight from launching to the moon, and it's really hard to tell. Anyway, let's just flip this down. I didn't bring much torque, so we're going to have to just use the gimbal. But it doesn't matter if we... Well, I brought loads of fuel, so we should be fine. But yeah, push ourselves into orbit. I think I might be burning a little early, yeah. But yeah, as I said, I think this is just... this does work with the newest update, the 1.0.4, I believe. I haven't found any glitches, but yeah, I think it's just... a really nice thing, as I've said, if you just want just a few more places to visit. If you've been everywhere and you think, oh, let's go to some nice places. If you're a fan of rings around planets, or maybe if you just want a bigger Delta V challenge. Maybe the idea that you kind of want to send probes places first, because these days in Kerbal Space Program, if you've played a lot of it, you don't need to send a probe first. But it can be just quite useful to send a probe first in this sort of situation. I know career mode's brought that on more, where you send probes, then manned missions, but I think this just adds a bit of, I don't know, just a new element to the game, and I really want there to be more gas giants in the game. I'm a big fan of gas giants. I think they're great. Well, actually, my favourite class of planet is water giant, because it's really cool. I like the idea of just a water-based planet. I know there's a lot of water on our planet, but there are actually planets in other solar systems. Well, it's mostly conjecture, because we can't fully know, but based on the size and the calculations, it's not just like there's like rocky planets and then rocky with a bit of water and then gas giants. There's actually planets that are almost entirely comprised of liquid. I know I say water because, well, I don't know, that's the first liquid that comes to mind, funnily enough, as a human who lives on Earth. Oh wow, this space launch system stage did really well. I'm going to leave it in orbit because I don't really want it, because I don't love it. Don't tell it that. There we go, ditch that, and let's head out. I need to be burning on the dark side, I guess. I'm not going to be super accurate. I will quick save, however. I'm not going to be mad accurate. I'm just going to basically burn in the darkish side of the planet and just kind of hope that I go really far into the solar system. Here should do. Quickly. But yeah, anyway, as I was saying, you get lots of weird classes of... Oh shit, is there not a decoupler on there? Am I a total moron? Yes, Peter, you are indeed a total moron. I can't use that nuclear engine, although I can burn off this stage. Hopefully that'll happen, although this is a heat-resistant part. Well, I guess we'll just kind of have to try our best. Luckily this cross-feeds, so this nuclear engine's just dead weight. So we're burning out all this fuel with this engine. So yeah, this won't go anywhere near as far as I'd hoped, because I forgot a decoupler there, because I'm a fool! A fool, I tell you! A fool. Anyway, still though, we'll hopefully go far afield. I guess this is a pretty good demonstration of how far you can get without nuclear engines. I'm a big fan of not spamming nuclear engines. I know I do it a lot in Kerbal wars, but that's because big ships need nuclear engines. But when you're using smaller ships, you can go anywhere with just chemical engines. I used them in one of my series, it's Solar Civilization. I used some KW just chemical engines to go to my first planet. I went all the way to Duna. This is not going to get far, is it? No, Peter, no it's not. Maybe you should be a fan of spamming chemical engines, although right past Joule already. Although coming up to Joule at least. Yep, there's right past Joule. All the way past. Oh, this might go pretty far. I'm actually surprised at how well this is doing. Obviously it gets easier to move through space as well time goes on. We've passed the orbit of Sarnus. We're going to pass the orbit of Erlem. Oh wow, this did really well. Past the Needen, and now we've still got a lot of fuel for maneuvering up there. I wonder if I could get an encounter with Plock. Keep on? Probably not. What if I burned north here? I know it's probably not going to work, and I probably shouldn't waste too much time with this, but I'd like to see. Okay, yeah, that's not going to work. Ooh. Uar like a farmer. Want to try it? Yeah, we're going to go really fast there. It'll only take 14 years to get there. I doubt I have that much Delta V. But yeah, you can see I could get there and then be kicked off into a giant orbit. And where would I end up around Plock? Hey, I might actually beat... that's actually going to take me longer to get to Plock than it took New Horizons to get to Pluto, because they aren't stupid like me. They kick themselves off Mars and then they kick themselves off Jupiter. Did they Mars assist? I think they Mars assisted. I know they Jupiter assisted, but still. Anyway, yeah, so that is just a little test of the new what am I thinking of? Multiple planets mod sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, you can see how it's not that hard to go that far, but obviously getting that much mass out to well, out there is quite hard. Although I guess if I pumped all this fuel in here, let's try this. Let's just try this. Let's try burning off this bottom stage. I'm not going to transfer all the fuel. I can't be bothered. I'm very tired. Okay, fine. Damn it, I don't want to leave fuel behind. Damn my KSP brain. And we shut down this engine. I know I didn't transfer all that fuel. I don't care. Jettison. Activate engine. Burn this off. Let's see if I can burn this out. I'm hoping. I'm really hoping. I'll check the temperature gauges, but the temperature gauge button is tied to my record button. It's like I'm using this engine, but I'm not. Burn off. Am I burning? Oh, of course I don't need oxidizer. Leave it all behind. Oh, I've got to stop bringing oxidizer for nuclear engines. Oh no, stop. In. Get rid of my oxidizer. Oxidizer is for not nuclear engines, for filthy chemical engines. I don't want it. Burn off. I don't think it will. Anyway, we'll let that just keep burning. But anyway, I should probably wrap up now, shouldn't I? Because this is probably not going to explode because this is heat resistant. Stupid fool! Although, what is that? Temperature overlay. So this is really hot. Oh, they're all basically in like thermal equilibrium at this point. So yeah, what was my end? Oh yeah, I guess just this is a really great mod, you should use it. It is a good mod actually. I do very much like the idea of having multiple planets, and you can see it's totally possible even though it takes longer to get to there than to get to Pluto unless you're smart and do lots of assists. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this, and I hope you like the idea of this mod. I think it's very cool. I think after a while you get a bit bored of the main planets, and these are just, as I said, a little bit more of a challenge, as I've probably said far too many times. How close should I get to that again? Oh, not even that close. But yeah, it's just a nice little feature, and it's not that heavy on resources, actually. I've had really no problems with it, and you should really check it out. It just adds a lot of cool things, beautiful like scenes of rings on planets, and moons around planets around stars. But yeah, anyway, as I said, I hope you've enjoyed this. This has been KSP with Tape. I will see you next time.